some of them present tonight. Broadway World Philippines, TheaterFansManila.com, Art Plus Magazine, Rant Magazine, Nixes Philippines, ClickTheCity.com, The Chickanes, Maganda Ba Movie, Push.com.ph, Balabastayo.com, Subselfie.com, and Work Multimedia. Now, before we start, let me introduce another member of the panel tonight who's joining us for the talkback, who's also a part of our artistic team, our sound designer, Jose Buencamino. And sadly, our lighting designer, Gabo Tolentino, had prior arrangements and couldn't make it here tonight. So, without much further ado, let's open the floor for questions from you. I think an usher will be providing a microphone for anyone who raises their hand. So, first question? No questions? Our friends from the media, the press, no questions? Okay. So kung wala muna, I started.
They need a drink.
I'll start it. Everyone, oh, okay, there. Thank you.
I was saying, you know, in the age of swiping, left, right, up and down, in the age where you only look at things for 10 seconds, in the age when smart shaming is a thing, I think it's good to be reminded that civilization was built on the foundations of real knowledge, of real commitment to lending yourself to appreciating art. It requires all of us not to be lazy anymore. And I think that will be the foundation also of the building of our nation and of our own civilization. I think so. So it's relevant that way.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, next question. Thanks so much. I see hands.
Hello. Do you think colors depicts uncertainty?
Wow, that's deep. That's so deep.
And if ever, what does uncertainty means to each of you?
No. I don't think uncertainty is the actual word for it. You know, Rothko believed that color, that's why he had color fields. And like music, if you were a listener of music and you didn't know how to read notes, you'd still cry at the sound of something that moves you. You look at the sunset or a sunrise in his case in the morning, and you don't know why it brings tears to your eyes. Later on, of course, you say, because it's so majestic. Of course, you give it a reason later on, which is what he does. He says, red, oh my God, it brings tears to my eyes. But later on na lang, why? The whys come later. But his thesis was, if you stand in front of a painting that is a color field, the color should be able to move you the way something abstract expressionistic, like something abstract makes you, moves you. So I wouldn't call it uncertainty, because there is a certainty to your feeling. You feel moved by it. What it does though is that it is, there's a beautiful line in the play where he says, we try to achieve the truth, the raw truth of emotion, but can only endure it with the cool lie of reason. And that's really what it is. The moment you put reason into the equation, it loses its potency. Whether you like it or not. Diba? Kasi na-explain mo na eh. Pero nung unang nakita mo, hindi mo naintindihan. Yun ang pinaka-truthful. I hope I answered
Oh,
your
yeah.
question.
Same.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Or something like that.
Hi,
Hi.
Bart, JC, congratulations on a very good, wonderful first night. Dexter Madrid here, One News. The conversation between you guys was so intense, and if I just want to get your opinion, both you and JC and Bart, if Rocco was in front of you explaining his philosophy, would you believe him? Do you believe him?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the guy now. I'm studying and researching about him. So I think me as an artist, parang discipline din ni Rocco. I like the whole idea of his philosophies and his whole work ethics and discipline. So I would hug the guy.
No, would I believe him? Heck, I'm playing him. Why should Of course I believe him. And you know, before we went into this, we did a lot of research. Kaming dalawa. Araw-araw yan. Araw-araw kaming nagkikita. Pinag-uusapan namin siya. So, medyo, I think, na-scratch namin yung surface sa pagkakaintindi sa kanya. Including Mark here, no? So we finally understood what he was all about. That whole, you know, his whole ethos, his whole, and if he was explaining it, the only problem with Rothko, anyway, as written by John Logan, is that he's a fucking intellectual snob. I mean, he is. But his philosophy was elevate yourself. Why should I go down to your level? Elevate yourself. You, the audience, come up. Come up to my level. Right? That's what he was all about. And you have to admire him for that. That was so uncompromising, diba? Yun ba yun?
Thank you so much for another question. Do you have another question? There we go. Yes.
Hello. Good evening. First off, before I give my question, I was expecting a brilliant performance from Bart, but JC, you blew me away. I did not expect that you could actually meet him head on. Why did you choose him, Bart? I mean, I'm just wondering. You had
He
no
chose
one
me,
else?
by the way, let's get
Oh,
that
okay.
clear. I mean, this guy was the one who came up to me and he said, "Uy, Kuya Bart, going on, and I said, "Sige nga."
You've done this before, right?
Yes,
Another
yes,
scene
yes,
partner
yes, yes.
years ago.
It was. I think the ones who'd seen it before will agree that it's a very different show.
Oh, okay.
It's a really very different show now.
I didn't have a chance to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen JC's films, but to see this is my first time to see JC on stage.
Galing, di ba?
Amazing. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, my question is, and this is also a response to your earlier comment about smart shaming, and then Rothko trying to, you know, not being an intellectual snob, but actually demanding that you live up to elevate yourself and that you live up to your standards. The early part of your play, I was like translating in my mind if this would work in Filipino. Not because I think, not because of the language will bring it more understandable to the Filipino, but I kind of got lost until at a certain point I stopped doing that. But I was doing that mental exercise of how would this work in Filipino. So my question is, has there been an attempt to do a Filipino version of Red? And if ever, do you honestly think it would work? without putting down the Filipino language. It's a Filipino
As a matter of
language.
fact, sana. Alam mo, this would have been perfect for Rolando Pino.
I
That
would
he still
suppose.
be, because he does Shakespeare so beautifully.
Correct.
And then, he is able to actually capture the essence of so many things
Yes.
without sacrificing the ideas, di ba? Galing, ang galing. So, and there are people like that. Alam mo, kakatok ako sa pintuan ni Roddy Vera. sa balang araw. Baka naman
But
sa kanila.
has there been an attempt with, Not.
None, because their first staging was the Asian premiere actually of Red in Manila. Manila did the first staging of Red outside of continental US and Europe. Yeah, Asian premiere.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, I think we have time for 2 more questions.
Or Gladys.
Okay.
Mark, you did this 10 years ago, I think. 10 years ago at how was your relationship and approach to the play and to the character as King through that time?
My God, that was asked of me the other time, and sabi ko, ang dami kong realization ngayon. I mean, what 10 years has done to me is really deepen my understanding. But when we first did it, and I loved doing it the first time, a lot of the stuff about the suicide of Pollock was lip service. Pero ngayon, naintindihan ko na siya. I guess, as I get older, the black is overwhelming the red. Yikes, that's so morbid. No, but I mean, but then you see the dark side of the human condition as you get older, and then mas naiintindihan mo yung ang daming pintuang nabukas ngayon dahil meron na akong karanasan, dahil meron na akong kabiguan, at yung sabi nga ni Rocco, it's the tragedy and the ecstasy. Mas marami na akong dadaan ng gano'n. So, marami, ang dami. It's too hard to, but as you can see, this was slightly different from the one last time. I don't even know slightly different. I think it was really different from the last time. Because it's a deeper understanding. Even the whole idea that he says, I'm not your father, I'm not your like this, like that, but he behaves like he shrink his father, he's yan, he denies all these things, but in the end, he's so human that way. His insecurity, yung protection niya, the self-protection, the shell, is I'm not committing myself to anyone. And you are just an employee. But in fact, he loved to teach him. He loved to find, yung psychiatric, he loved to analyze him. He loved to, and then in the end, he lets him go like a father. I mean, and it's the most painful thing because he says, make something new. It's the first time he actually acknowledges that it's your turn. It's your turn. Tapos na. At gusto ko, ganda. Yeah. Orly, meron ka raw?
Yeah. Congratulations. I'm curious about the design though and the lighting, because well, for me it's also a performance in itself. I'm wondering where you get this inspiration. Are the designs we see right now prescribed by the script, or are there new creations that came up during the design process?
Most of the things you see on stage are on the script. Most, if not all, were here. But I'm really thankful that it's a really collaborative process between Sir Bart, me, JC, Jose, and Gabo, our lights designer. When we arrived at the theater, that's when we started to compose everything. There were liberties. that we took from the script. I think the word is that we freed ourselves from the script and made choices for it, specific for what we're trying to say right now for this show. So I don't know if that answered your question, but yes, that's how it that's how we kind of dealt with
Kasi
it.
wondering about yung mga lines, we see themes kasi of frames and squares. Were these prescribed by the script or sa inyo guys?
No, because the ones you see now were the actual Seagram. They're prototypes of the Seagram works. And he said he was creating 30 or 40 of them. So they were all stacked. They were really just all around the studio, which was, by the way, an unused gym. So it was a hermetically sealed submarine.
222 Bowery in New York.
In Bowery. And then, there are things that are needed in the script, such as you need to have a record player, you need to have a workstation, you need to have a parang office workspace. And this, by the way, is based on
A photo.
actual photos of him. This is a lawn. It's a lawn chair.
Adirondack chair.
Yeah, Adirondack chair.
And then the easel design then, sir, was
the easel
the
design.
easel design was from an archival photo.
Yeah.
Some of the things, the lamps, the footlights were in archival photos. So yeah, mix and match of archival photos that were taken inside the studio of Rothko, the various studios of Rothko all throughout his career. So medyo amalgamation na siya dito because the 222 Bowery studio was really, it's rather small for the canvases that he was making for the Seagram murals at that time. So yeah, there were various liberties here and there.
Thank you.
There's two more questions.
For Oliver.
That's the
Or
one. Okay,
sorry.
last three na.
Last three. So
Okay.
kanina pa nakataas siya.
Okay.
So
For Amadis. Come on, Amadis.
Okay.
Amadis, here's your microphone.
Here.
Bart, you said that the interpretation of JC is different from that of Waki, what was 10 years ago. Could you describe in a few paragraphs it says that
Nakakatakot naman I have to talk about Waki. Hindi. Kasi, okay. In fairness to Waki, he was brilliant also, but he was very different. Why? Because Waki, by his very nature, is an alpha male. He really is an alpha male by his very nature. So, the dynamic was so different. It really was very different. This is a man boy. I mean, really, he's so vulnerable and open. So, mas masarap apihin. Mas masarap apihin. So it was so different. Mas feeling ko mas may control ako over him, that I can mold him, I can manipulate him, I can do things with him kasi napaka-open. Si Waki was very in control, but that's his nature. And it was valid. He needed the job. He came here. He took all the shit from me, etc., etc. But he had a certain amount of reserve. This guy comes in wanting to learn. I want to learn from the master, diba? And then inabik pa pala siya. So that's the difference.
Okay, last two. Agab, given kasi kanina pa siya. Kanina pa siya eh. Last two. So one and then this. One and two. Okay?
Thank you po. I just wanted to say that I was amazed how you two are in the moment for an hour and 30 minutes. I bet that the script is 100 pages long or more. My question is, how did you manage to memorize all of the lines in the play for a full length with no intermission, and saan po kayo humuhugot?
That's you.
Well, first, nanggaling taga-teatro talaga. We were from UP before, and this was my course in college. So we've been doing it for a long time. And kapag makagawa ka ng ganitong play, talagang kailangan mo siyang bigyan ng time eh. Like how Mark Rothko won. Kailangan mo siyang bigyan ng oras na talagang i-analyze natin to, upuan natin to, pag-uusapan natin siya ng matagal na panahon, hanggang sa maluto natin siya, hanggang sa umabot tayo sa ganito. So, I think yung memory, magiging natural na lang siya once iniintindi mo siya ng iniintindi, hanggang sa nagiging personal na siya sa'yo, hanggang sa parang natural nang lalabas na lang sa bibig mo yung line. So, I think in our first actual blocking rehearsals, kaka-table work namin, drop scripts na kami kaagad. So we've been doing this for like 3 months now.
Sa tagal namin nagte-table work. Na drop scripts kami on the first day of blocking.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last question. Gab, yes. Kanina ko siya nataas na kamay. Nawa na ako. The guy with the glasses.
Wait, hang on. Before anything else, please help us spread the word.
Yes.
We're gonna ask you, please.
Post about it on social media.
Please. Social media. We need the word of mouth. Thank you very much.
Okay, last question. Yes, Gab.
I came in not knowing about the play. I was only invited by JC's wife, Shai. So I came in with open mind and just watch the show. So I'm a psychiatrist by profession. So how do you internalize? I mean, Rock was very obviously narcissistic and histrionic personality, and JC has a dependent and shall I say that Oedipus complex, whatever. So with Rock was like, how do you internalize it and be in that zone? Because I know it's difficult. It's difficult to run the narcissistic mind. It's really difficult. So how did you internalize that personality?
I would say this is maraming practice. It's just practice. You have to keep saying it in front of the mirror, keep saying it to yourself, you keep saying it to yourself, you keep talking to him about it. So, maraming points of personal, like my monologue there. The things that brings me tears are family. So when I talk about my sister, that. So it works right away. So may ganun na siyang effect sa akin. So lalo na yung galit. Baga, it will come naturally na lang kapag lagi mo siyang ginagawa. Kasi 3 months na ulit-ulit to. So,
ako naman, sa palagay ko, narcissist talaga ako eh. So, no acting there. No. But in truth, the acting craft is, you really need to try and discover aspects of the character in yourself. That's just the nature of the craft. Alam mo, if I had played a holy man, I tried to bring out my holiness, right? But this is a narcissist, and I figured, okay, I've got to, for me to be truthful as a narcissist, I have to find the narcissist in me. I mean, that's what acting is all about. Diba? Ganun lang naman yun eh. Kasi, that's where we get our, I mean, that's why we love doing this, because every time you do a new role, you actually unlock a new facet of yourself. And at the end of the day, parang you've redefined yourself in 100 different ways. And it makes you just a little more human and humane.
Naniwala po ba kayo sa amin?
psychiatrist. Thank you.
Okay, I guess that's it for the questions tonight. Again, thank you so much for joining us for our opening night today. For our friends in the press, they can just come up to JC and Bart after. And again, we just want to reiterate, if you loved or if you even liked our show tonight, please post about it right on your social media. You can take photos of the set. Hashtag Red Manila 2023. I was getting to that. I was getting to that. So if you post about it on social media, the hashtag is hashtag Red Manila 2023, hashtag The Necessary Theater.
Hashtag The Necessary Theater.
And please follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, at The Necessary Theater. Thank you so much.